First things first, Benny, you're of course a massive Arsenal fan. Are you nervous about this one?
A little bit. I wouldn't say. Listen, at the end of the day, it's the FA Cup. But you talk about Arsenal beating Manchester City. We've beaten once in the last 13 times, and that was in the FA Cup.
Is that all it is?
Once in the last 13.
Wow, that's a great stat. That is.
And that was on the way to when Arsenal won the FA Cup.
Right.
You remember that? So, and that was 2-0. But again, that was at the Emirates, so that wasn't even at the Etihad. So,
do you know the last time you beat them at the Etihad? Do you know that?
Yeah, it was 2017.
Wow.
And that was in the FA Cup again.
Okay. What? Okay. Well, it is as an omen there, as a blessing rather, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, if you talk about the Etihad in the league, the last time was 2015, 2-0.
Wow, 8 years ago. That's nuts.
Yeah.
How relevant do you think tonight's result is, when you look at where the two teams are in the Premier League?
Do you know what, Andy? For me, it's about mindset. Now, if I'm asked, I'm going full strength. I'm not resting in it. I'm going full strength because I want to see. Arsenal have been fantastic up until this point. You can't argue with that. They've passed all the tests they needed to pass, but they haven't played Manchester City once yet. So a lot of people are still waiting. Right, let's see exactly where Arsenal are. Are they the real deal? Even though I believe they are the real deal, and there's no shame in coming second to Manchester City. But this is the test. You talk about the champions of England who've been dominant of late. So I want a mindset. So I want Arsenal to go up there full strength and try and win the game, because if they can get past this hurdle, I know it's the FA Cup, but if they can get over that winning against Manchester City, even if it's the FA Cup at their place, psychologically you go, okay, they are in a good place. Yeah. They are the real deal.
That winning mentality. You've got to keep it going,
of course,
right?
because if you go up there full strength, you get slapped. You get 3 or 4.
You get walloped.
It's all of a sudden it's like, oh no. What's to come?
Can I ask, when we talk about it, I jest, it's tongue in cheek, right? But there's a part of me that hopes it happens, of course. That, Arsenal always fall. A lot of people say they always fall off a cliff after Christmas. And we are, if we wouldn't have had the World Cup, we are sort of around Christmas time anyway, right? As a footballer, you're obviously aware of what people in the public domain talk about, right? You might not pay any attention to it, but you're certainly aware that if you're an Arsenal player, I'm guessing you're aware that people have said Arsenal fall off a cliff after Christmas, right? From an Arsenal perspective, from the manager, the players, and even the fans as well, because if the fans get nervous, sometimes that transcends down onto the pitch. If Arsenal lose tonight, right, and then maybe don't have a great run of form in a couple of Premier League games, do you think that will start getting to the players? They'll start thinking, oh no, not again.
I don't, because I think it's a different mindset in this Arsenal team. Now, you look at the result against, unfortunately, and it pains me to say it, but when they went up there to Old Trafford,
3-1,
and they got beat,
smashed, walloped.
Right.
Walloped. Yeah, you got well and truly walloped by Man United.
Right, and they got beat, right? And that was one where you went, they were on a good run of form. They'd won the 4 previous to that, and they got beat. And everyone went, right, here we go. That's where they fall. It's early, but they've suffered defeat against one of the big heads. They'll fall off a cliff now. And then after that, they went and beat Brentford away, because that was the game afterwards. No, what did you do when you went down there?
I knew you'd say
No, but what happened?
We lost 4-0.
Yeah, so that was the next one, and they smashed them. Walloped them 3-0.
Yeah.
Then they played Spurs North London Derby 3-1. Then they won in Europe, Bodo Glimt, but don't really count. Then the big one after that was the Liverpool game. Again, Liverpool always beat Arsenal. Can now Arsenal get a result against Liverpool? They go and win 3-2. So I think when it comes to reacting to there's only been one in the league. When it comes to reacting to defeats, I think Arsenal have been a lot better this time around than they have been previous seasons.
Do you think then, right, if we're talking about how important this game is for Arsenal to keep that winning mentality going, do you think Man City know that? And maybe that's a reason why they might put full strength out tonight as well. I can't see any reason why either of you wouldn't go full strength.
If I'm Arteta, I'm going full Arteta. I want to see where my team is.
But do you think Man City and Pep especially is thinking we need to stop the run? We need to put doubt in their mind. It's so important we win this game tonight.
Well, this is almost.
Is it bigger? Sorry, Benny. Is this just bigger than a normal FA Cup tie between the two?
Because it's a marker. Manchester City are looking at Arsenal, who are. Like Manchester City over the last few years have fended off everyone. Other than that one blip they had against Liverpool, where Liverpool won the league, they have just completely dominated. Even when they've given Liverpool head starts, they've come back and caught them. They've had to go dig deep into 90 points in Premier League seasons to win Premier League titles, which is nuts. Even they're thinking, right, here's the latest test. Here comes Arsenal. Let's see what they're all about. So even for Manchester City, if Arsenal beat them, they'd go, oh, okay, yeah, they are the real deal. But for Arsenal mentally, if they can win this game and not even play well doing it, but just win the game, then all of a sudden that lets Manchester City know, yeah, Arsenal are for real. They're not just the flash in the pan. They've been good this season. This is like the last test. The last test. Can Arsenal beat a side like Manchester City? If they can do that, then wow, they're in a good place.
Have a listen to this ahead of tonight's game between Man City and Arsenal, of course, live and exclusive right here on talkSPORT. The City boss, Pep Guardiola, was asked if he thinks Mikel Arteta got his touchline antics from him.
I teach him few things, but this he came from himself, mom and dad. So, but I know him, so we worked together. You know, the time we were together, I had the feeling that that what he's doing is not fake. It's him making a training session in the games. Always was complaining, referees and whatever. Yeah, being assistant coach. So it's what it is. So after that, I'm not judged. So everyone is everyone, and sometimes I behaved as well in this way. So
it's interesting, actually, the way that Pep views Mikel Arteta.
Feels like a proud father.
Yeah, but also, I don't know if you read, I think it was in the papers today saying that if he leaves Man City, he sees Arteta as the perfect replacement. I wonder if City fans would see that. I mean, listen, I like what Arteta's doing.
Yeah.
I mean, apart from the FA Cup, he hasn't done anything yet.
I mean, FA Cup's big, and listen, I apologise, I think it's at the Wembley, Arsenal beat Manchester City, right? At Wembley the last 2 times. But what I will say is that it's mind games from Pep as well. Oh, it's brilliant, because he did the same thing with Potter, didn't he? When Potter's the best English manager.
That's right.
So it's all mind games, but Arteta, I don't think Arteta's even thinking about Manchester City yet, because he's still got a big job on his hands. And even though he's flying at the minute with Arsenal, he's already won the FA Cup, there are still some Arsenal fans out there that are still a little bit like, let me see. Because if Arsenal was to not fall off a cliff, but come second, like third, there'd be some Arsenal fans saying, if we had a better manager, we'd have got it over the line.
Yeah.
So I think the question mark with some Arsenal fans is still there on Arteta, but it's Pep I think it's Pep just playing mind games either.
Okay. How important is tonight's game with regards to whether or not Arsenal win the Premier League?
It's important just from a psychological
point. By
point.
the way, people listening, I know it's FA Cup, but you understand what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, because this is like the final test.
Yeah.
It's like the big boss.
If you lose tonight, have you less chance of winning the league?
Not less chance, but all of a sudden you go, right, it knocks you a little bit. But if Arsenal can get a positive result against Manchester City, saying, as I said, once in their last 13 games, then that's massive.
What will the score be? It's live on talkSPORT tonight. Build-up begins when we come off here at 7. We're going to take calls on this in just a moment, so you can get your calls in now. 03717223344. What will the score be, Benny?
2-1 Arsenal. Go on, the boys.
Do you honestly think you're going to win it?
Yeah,
2-1
Arsenal, yeah.
I mean, ask the question. Anyone in there think that? No, they'll say
of course
no.
They're going to say that, aren't they?
Ryan thinks they're going to get walloped. I think they get walloped
2-1.
as well. I never thought I'd say this, but come on, man. Who do I want to win? Oh, my goodness.
I might just see my face Monday.
I need a shower. This is a horrible decision I've got to make.